Hi everyone, today we're going to be taking a flight out. It's going to get quite dark and it's raining. This is a very classical looking British Airways livery. I really like it. British Airways Express. We are in Cardiff in Wales and we're going to be flying a roughly 45 to 50 minute flight to Newcastle in England. So hopefully I've learned from my last flight. Let's see. I'm going to start setting up the plane. You don't have to see all of this one. We're going to cut this one down a little bit. And as you can see, yep, the rain is here. We've got the plane switched on, powered up. And I'm going to go through the preparations of getting the plane up and running. And also filing in the flight plan. I might even record that bit actually, and then we'll get going. So yeah, see you in a bit. Alright, so we're going to set up the route hopefully. So we're going to put the from, which is EGFF to EEN. This is so different to what I'm used to, but okay. It's still in the right order. It's just on Boeings and Airbuses, it doesn't stretch out all that way. It's kind of, yeah, anyway, never mind. Right, so there's our thingy. Our thingy there. Just put the thingy in. And we're traveling on BA 2627, which we may as well stick in. I love this reflection on the bezel here. It looks really cool. Okay. And let's do what they do, execute that. Right, the flight plan is on the screen as you guys can see. So let's see how successful we are with this one. So obviously we're going to begin where we're going to pick the departure airport. So let's do that. And the runway is 12 as you can see, so we'll pick that. And the SID, the standard instrument departure, is Beacon 1B, BCN 1B, I think. Beacon 1B. Maybe, is that for the Brecon beacons? Googling. Yeah, Brecon beacons is in Wales, South Wales, which is exactly where we are. It's probably that, Brecon beacons, if I had to guess. No transitions listed, so execute. Fine. Okay. The next thing, if we come down on here, it should say BCN. It does. Which, if you read on our flight plan there, that's the last of the top line, BCN. So we're going to click into BCN. And the next one is P69, so if we click on Airway, there it is, kaboom boom, pop that in there, and that goes to DISM, so let's click on here, and there it is. So far so good. The next one, we click here, is 9864, going on to Kipwe. Okay, we have quite a bit here. I'm hoping there's a next load. There it is, there's Kipwe. Okay. Should we carry on or should we execute what we've got here? Let's carry on. Because I need to know whether this works. Okay, this is weird. Why have we got another N864? What? I'm gonna carry on because if I click this, it shows there. So I am gonna carry on because I'm confused why we've got two of the same, and if that's normal because it is a via, but it is going from BCN to DISM to Kitwe, which is correct. So okay. The next thing I'm looking for then is AVTEC. Also, Kiswo is also on my thing. Kiswo, you don't see it on the route, but it is showing on the SimBrief map. So Kiswi, sorry, Kiswo, yeah. Kiswo is the next one on the map, but on here it's Avtik. Let's see if it's listed. It is. Alright, so do we have N38 here now? We do. Maybe I'm just not up on the VIA things. Maybe it's like, it's still the same VIA, but it's going from there to there, there to there. It's like saying we're going from this city to this city, to this city to this city, but we're doing it on the same motorway. I don't know. Maybe it's like that. Right, anyway, never mind. Moving on. Next one is Nokin, which is there. It is working as we want it to. Next one is P17, which is right there. That gets us to Pol, which I'm hoping... Oh, wait a minute. Pol and Pol 1N. Pol 1N, yeah. There's Pol. Let me just pop to next. Okay, fine. Gets us to Pol. And I think that's it. The Pol 1N, we don't bother with that because that's going to get put in as part of the arrival airport. So that's all of that. We can just execute. And then back onto the flight plan. If we've got 5 pages now. So if we nip off to the end, we'll ignore the discontinuity for the moment. If we go here, and we want to be arriving at ILS runway 07 via Pol 1N, which is the last thing before the airport on the flight plan. Boom. No vias that I've got listed here, so yeah, no vias that I've got listed here, and I don't think, yeah, I'm not going to bother with those, so we're just going to click that. Okay, do we still get the discontinuity at the end? No, we don't. It's gone now. This is why I left it. I was hoping it would, because putting in the start and the actual runway fills it kind of in upwards, you know. So we've got our center fix, our final fix. So hopefully we should have the top of descent and top of climb on the dashboard. So if we click to the right of the screen to go into plan mode, and we can step through the flight plan and see where we are. So let's go into the altitude side as well. Top of climb comes at around 52 nautical miles, I believe, according to SimBrief. And it comes, top of climb is between February and Dism. Now, I imagine that the reason it's not there at the moment is because we haven't put in our payloads. So that's fine. So we'll check this again when we've got our payload and passengers on board and everything. That looks great. As usual, there's a sharp turn at the end, which might mean that we'll be slightly offset going into final approach. This plane does that, I believe. So it depends. It may line up properly. We may be a little bit to the side, to the left here, in which case I'll try and correct that manually. But yeah, that looks good to me. Very good. Okay, I'm happy with that so far. Once I've got the performance figures in, I am certainly expecting top of climb, top of descent to be added to this. In the meantime, let's go back. I clicked in the wrong area there. Let's just click in this quadrant here, I think. There we go. Back to the nav page. And I think we'll zoom it. No, not in. I kind of want to zoom out. No, I was right. In. I want the detail. Cool. Alrighty then. So, we don't need the flight plan anymore. And we'll move on to the next bit. Right, onto the performance then. We have our cruising altitude, which is going to be 18,000 feet. Maximum cruise mode. The alternate airport is EG BB, and from what I can glean off the SimBrief flight plan, the cruising altitude for that is 24,000. Okay. I mean, that's kind of like, that's 6,000 feet higher than where we'd be. This is kind of weird because the time that we'd need to go to the alternate airport is... Nah, never mind. Never mind. Leave it. I'm not going to start wallowing in questions and thoughts here. I'm quite happy with this as it is. Alright, so let's go to wait. Wait a minute. Now, here's the thing. Last time I was calculating pounds to kilos, kilos to pounds and all that stuff. Now I've found out that was totally unnecessary. So, anyway, we need to put in the reserve amount of fuel, so I'll just grab that. So, it's looking to be around 363 kilos. So now we have to get the right fuel on board and passengers. 45 passengers today. So let's see what we can do with this. This is the bit I always have trouble with, because I wish instead of, you know, as well as having the maximums, it would put the figure here of what it estimates is how many passengers are currently on the plane based on the weights. That would really be nice. So the fuel that's going to go in is going to be 1,900 kilos. I'm just wondering if I go to the systems panel on here. Okay, it doesn't like that. I guess I clicked. Alright. So we want to get to the fuel here. So in order to have 1900, I need 950 kilos in each tank, at least. I don't want to be going. So this is altering. Oh, there we go. Absolutely perfect. So there's the fuel. And then we have 45 passengers. So maybe an easy way would be just to get rid of everybody in the middle. So we could have 9 people in each of these sectors, and then that would give us 45, because 9 fives are 45. So if it's 80 kilos per passenger, then that's going to be 800 minus the 1, 720 kilos. Right, 720 kilos in every sector. Okay, so we'll just convert that to pounds. So I can tell you that 720 kilos is 1,590 pounds. So if we take that figure, why does it put a 0 there and keep it as a hard 0? Not that it matters. So we go here, we'll just do the same thing, delete all 4 digits and just put 159. And this will be just a nice even spread of passengers, which is probably best, rather than just piling everybody at the front and the back and leaving nothing in the middle, or too much at the front, too much at the back. Oops. Alright. So we've got a 61% payload. So now we've got the correct fuel, because it's noted here. Even though it says it in pounds, this updates in real time, so that's kind of cool. We've got the pilot, the co-pilot, and blah, 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 blah. Done. So we've got that set according to SimBrief. So those figures can be picked up here, but I don't have to do any calculations. Thank the Lord for that. Click and hold, and it fills it in for me. Yeah, I know, right? I did all the maths yesterday. Freaked. Fuel on board, click and hold. Fills in the fuel. It's a little bit out, but yeah. Same with the weight. I think it'll be like, you know, 10, 20, 30 kilos out perhaps. Doesn't really matter. It's in. The takeoff trim is set to 1.3. That's currently at 0.5, but that's going to get set at some point anyway. So cool. Now we've got the flight plan in. Now we've got the weights in, and the performance I think will be coming up very soon. Yeah, it should be noted that the weather's getting worse, by the way. So we may do all this setup work, and ATC might not let us out. Alright, on to the next bit then. So, if we nip back inside, and I'll tell you what, while we're doing that, I'm just going to start FSLTL, because I haven't yet injected any traffic into the sim. It's just me. I'm going to just start doing that right now. Okay, so we're going to press perf. If it... Ooh. Are we frozen? Okay. Perf. Thank you. That was a minor issue. Okay, but still, we're there. So now we're on perf. Let's see what we need to do here. Right, yeah, we actually needed to be here in the takeoff page. We just keep pressing perf to get to takeoff, and we got that. So the transition altitude, that's to go in now, so it's 6,000. Okay, so we got that. And then I think we need to press it again and get to the cruise. Now the average wind is 153 at 33 knots. And make sure we're set to maximum cruise. And I believe that's it. Okay, if we keep pressing, we'll get through all of these phases here, you see. Also, should show the course here. Yeah, so this is our course out of here. And the runway length. I've got 117 degrees from Navigraph. This is showing 116. Not really going to make that much of a difference, but this is the heading outbound from the runway. Alright, let's move on to the next bit. Right, now the next thing is to get into the performance page, which is here, and we want to go to reset fuel used and confirm takeoff data. Now we need to set the QNH, which is, got a clue what it is. We'll get the METAR from here, and we want it for Cardiff, and it's 1009. Okay, so we can set that here, 1009, by turning this the wrong way. See, 2981, 2982, 29, it's all covered on 09. So 09 is covered by 2980, 81, and 82. I'm going to go 81, smack in the middle. And we're going to need to set that on the other side, I believe, as well. At least, if it isn't already done so, it has. Okay, it's the decision altitude I have to make sure that's set on both sides. Right, okay. That's it. Okay, let's make sure that we've got everything done. We're going to run through the final cockpit preparation checklists. We only need to do the second one. The first one's kind of just a nothing, really. So here in this bit, we have up, the up click box, hot point, and in the middle here we've got down, and in the bottom we have the select or enter. And you can get that from here in the options. If you just go to display, click spot help, you'll see here on the engine screen, top third is up, middle third is down, and bottom third is to validate. Alright, yeah, so let's close that out, or close it in, close it left, close it right, however you want to close it. So this is down, so we're going to click that. Now I'll show you this number 1, but it's just mainly electronic procedures, that are the version 1.2 systems. There's nothing here. So we'll come down to the next one where it is actually, oh, we need to go back. So click here and then come all the way down to cockpit prep 2. By the way, on this one, was there a confirmation? There you go. Yeah, I thought so. I just click validate just to let it know that that procedure's been complete. And then we can come down and click validate. So parking brake is set. Yes, it is. We can see that is set there. This is just to make sure I haven't missed anything. Altimeter's set and checked. Yeah, we did the QNH. Landing elevation, check. That would be here. I have seen this used on a real flight with this plane, but apparently we're not doing that. We're doing that in here, so we'll be setting that up later, so we're good there. So let's validate that. FMS, COM and nav set. Yeah. That's just putting in your navigation frequencies and your COM frequencies, you know, for ATC and stuff. Don't need it for the purpose of this flight, so let's go. Fuel quantity, fuel on board, checked. Good. I like how it's brought these up as well, though, these radio frequencies. I could tune one in, but I've got ATC switched off, so nothing would happen. But if I enabled my ATC chatter program, my app, then I could tune a frequency in. Let's see if we can do that. I think it's set up to only work if COM1 is active, though. I'm just going to triple double check and see what happens. It may start talking on its own anyway. It says connected. It's already got the COM1 set to 118.3, which is active. So if we go to Cardiff Tower on my program, on my app is, I say app, it's not a phone, it's on my PC. It's a utility. So the Cardiff Tower is 113105. If I click in here, 133.105. Let's see if it does it. So we're going to use these buttons down here. So pop up so I can see it. So 133.105. Okay, cool. Fine. And we'll press enter.
Yeah, 2126.
Cool.
Reset your transponder. Should be 1765 on the code.
Oh, the reason it's American is because I've got United States selected instead of Europe. There we go.
Confirm you want us to vacate from here?
Metro 6, you can vacate aussi 43 if you don't.
Right, so that's active. I'm going to just turn that off for now. Yeah. Okay, so Quantity fuel, yeah, they're fine. Engine fuel used has been reset. We just did that. That was down here. We did that. Memo panel, yeah, whatever. And the power management is set to takeoff, and indeed it is. So, final cockpit preparation checklist is completo. Completo. Oh, now then. Did we have to... I think on this one, we had to click validate, and then again. Yeah, okay, now it's disappeared. I only clicked once, and then I went back. I should have clicked it twice. Yeah, okay, so now it's disappeared. Now it knows it's been done. Yeah, excellent. It's getting darker here as well, by the way, and the weather is really crappy. Right, next step. Now, I think I have a way of doing reverse thrust, and I think it's just the standard Microsoft Flight Simulator way of doing it. It's the same that it was done in FSX and everything like that by just pressing F2. It seems to work. I couldn't get it to work on my throttles, but it just seems that pressing F2 does actually put my throttles into the reverse position. And you need to flick those levers up to do that. So now if I get my actual throttle and move it forwards, you can see it pushes the levers forward, and then we'll have to go back and into that position. So I might actually be able to get reverse pushback here. That's going to be interesting. Just like it was last time. But to do that, we need to fire the engines up into hotel mode, which is basically firing up the right-hand engine without the propeller spinning. Now I already have the prop brake on, so it shouldn't do that. I'm also wondering whether these AC Wild generator faults should be there. I'm hoping they're going to go off at some point. I haven't got any probes on or heating on yet. It's really crap out there. That's really bad weather and just getting darker, and I should maybe be moving time a little bit because yeah, trust me to be doing a night flight on a plane I'm not totally familiar with yet. Alright, let's get the engine started, shall we? So if we go up here and turn on the right hand side fuel pump, and then we'll switch this to A and B mode, and I think that's just going to be it. We're just going to hit the engine start. Oh, wing light needs to go on, by the way. Yeah, so that is this one, and I guess we can now put the beacon light on. What else? I'm trying to look at text here. I've got my notes. So fuel pump 2 on, wing leader from engine start A and B. That's it. Okay, so we're going to hit start 2, and then we're going to observe this hitting 10. It has. So now we're going to put this condition lever into the idle position. I'm hoping that air bleed is going to disappear at some point. We've got the oil pressure going up. Just to stick that caution off. Obviously, putting the condition lever into the... I said idle, I meant feather. To put it into this feather mode is not going to be enough power to push the plane back. We need to put it into auto, so we will do that. Okay. Sorry, I'm running through this. Ignore the air bleed 1 error in the middle display. We've done that. We've done that. We've ignored it. Right, engine starter off. External power off. Of course, we don't need it anymore, so we can turn the engine starter to the off position. External power off, and because we've done that, we no longer need the ground power unit, so that can go. Excellente. I'm going to take the wheel chocks off her, because we do have the brakes on and everything. We'll be fine. Alright, so just make sure that the BTC is showing a horizontal light, and it is. The valve packs are open, they're showing open. Throttles are at idle, which they are. Make sure the correct rudder trim is set. And the nose wheel steering is off for pushback. Well, we don't need to do that because we don't. We're going to be doing a power pushback. Now, I know for a fact that at this stage the pitch is not set correctly, the trim here, so we need to, I think it was it 1.2, I think it was. Can't remember where to go now. It has to be to do with the weight page. Let's go back to menu, MS, in it, go to weight. Well, it's 1.3 up. So I didn't have to do this last time. It did do it on its own. I'm just wondering whether something I do a bit later on is going to do that. But let's set it manually anyway. Somehow. Because somehow I need to get to see, because the thing we need to flip up is this thing. But I also need to be able to see. Oh, it's not even working. Okay, that's kind of bizarre. Is it working? I mean, it's supposed to be animated, let's put it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. What are we on now? I want to make sure I'm going the right way. Nope, I wasn't. Okay, so let's just say it's 4 clicks for every one. I haven't got a clue if it is. Oh, where's the flipping hotspot for this down arrow? There it is. It's minute. The window for the down arrow is tiny. I could assign a key press to this. I probably should. So we're going to go nose up. Oh, go away. No, go away. I'm going to assign keys to this. This is silly. Actually, I do have buttons I can assign. I'm going to go and do that. Bear with me. Okay, I did that. I already had a button set up, actually. It was my little wheel on my joystick, but it didn't make the plane go. So I don't know what the hell that was all about, but my plane was having a right whinge. But yeah, done. Okay, so we've got the pitch thing, and also we need to run through the before propeller rotation checklist. But yeah, let's do that now. I think that's the right place to do it now. So if we just pop down to there, make sure that everything we've done so far is checked. So CDLS is on. Yeah, cockpit door landing system. It's not. It's not that. It's somewhat to do with the cockpit door though. But yeah, done. FMS and takeoff data confirmed. Yes, I did. We did that a little bit earlier. That's fine. Trims on 3 axes are all set. Let's just say they are. Tail prop is now on board. It is. I didn't bring it out in the first place. Doors are closed. Seat belts are on. Beacon light is definitely on. Procedure is complete. Awesome. Right. I guess we're ready for the power pushback. I don't want to fly in this weather. It's really bad. Really, really bad. Just want to get, you know, a flight where there's nice weather. You can see. It was my fault. I picked the UK. So there you go. Right, so we're going to make sure the nose wheel steering is on, and it is by default, so it's going to be on. It's down here. You'll know it's on because if you switch it off and then close this cover, the cover will flick it back into the on position anyway. So as long as the cover's closed, you should be good to go. So we're going to need pushback with the right hand engine going, but now we want the propeller to spin. So we're going to take that off, turn off the propeller brake, close the guard, and now we have, whoops, I didn't mean to press that. Now we have the propeller spinning in the feather mode, but again, as I said, not enough power. So we're going to set the condition lever to auto. Can't believe you did that. I've got to wait for everything to power up again. It's so easy. It's just I control that up and down movement with a mouse wheel, and I just clicked it the wrong way. So we just wait for the avionics to kick back in again, and everything should be okay. Everything looks okay on the panel. Right, okay, that's good. So wait for the NP to stabilize at around 70. Kind of there, isn't it? 69.5, pretty much where it needs to be. Okay, now we've got it powered up. We can turn on the probe heats and the windshield. And I think, and these generators have gone off. Well, actually, we've got one here though. Oh, of course. Of course it is. That engine's not powered up. Right, we're good. Okay. Happy with all of this. So we can now check the hydraulics to make sure that we have 3000 psi on all of the braking systems. So it's not that one. It's not that one. There it is. So we got one there, one there, one there. And just take note at this point that the TRU is lit up with a green box. That's good to note. Excellente. Alright. So, I'm not going to bother carrying out the anti-skid test and all that stuff. But if you want to know where the anti-skid test is, it is just above. Is it above? Yeah. It's above the thing. You just press the test in. I'll do it anyway. What the hell? So there you go. It's on the display. Okay. Test done. I am pausing a lot because I'm trying to read at the same time. So next thing is to extend the flaps, which I'm going to do on my throttle because that looks like tricky to reach. There we go. Okay, now it says make sure systems page is shown on ND. Start engine. What? The engine is started. Which systems page? Oh, this one, I suppose. I don't know what it means by start engine. That's a note. Oh, we're talking about the other engine. Start engine 1 is what it should say. Now that makes sense to me. I'm amending my notes here, guys. Alright. So, up we go. Start engine 1, so we're going to put that on. And we're going to turn this back into this position. And we're going to start number 1. The reason we have to have this screen on is to make sure that we can see that this is hitting 10. And that's now in the feather position. We're just going to make sure it's going to stabilize nicely. Oil up to pressure, everything nice, cool. Alright, let's pop it up. Right, so both engines are now started, and we can confirm that by having a look outside. Now then, what else? Let me just Okay, so we should be getting low pitch on both of these screens now, and we are. The wild generators are on, we know that. BTC, we've already checked that in the open position. The comm hatch, we don't need to bother because that's definitely going to be closed, which is the document door. Now we need to switch on the transponder on the ND bottom of display. So at the moment that's showing radio frequencies, so we need to switch to, is it serve? Yeah, transponder, and we want to turn transponder 1 on. There it is showing XP DR1. That's cool. And the rotate engine start button. Oh, sorry. It's my writing. Rotate the engine start button to off. Yes, of course. Rotate engine. It sounds like a term, doesn't it? Okay, so we are going to push back now, but before we do that, we're just going to run through the before taxi checklist. It's already highlighted, so we're just going to click that. So FWS recall. Now that is down here. I don't know whether we actually have to press that, but I will. But anyway, I've confirmed that, done that. Yeah, we've done that. CL1 and 2. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Condition levers 1 and 2 set to auto. Of course it is. Yes, done. Anti-icing as required. It's raining, it's cold, I've put them on. The temperatures are 13, so we should be okay, but I've got them on anyway. TRU, we did note earlier that it was lit up, but it has taken us to that screen automatically, which is nice, and it is lit up indeed. Anti-skid test, we performed that. Flaps we did set to 15, nose wheel steering is on, procedure complete. And it takes us back to this page. Alright. Are we actually good? Right, so now we've got that. The engines are running. Everything's looking good. Temps, everything's in the green. We are fine. Request taxi from ATC. Hello, can I taxi please? Of course you can. Do what you like. Okay, so now we're going to turn on the taxi light, which is this little fella down here. Turn that on, and I think that's it. Let's put the strobe light on. The logo I'm not going to put on. It's not, well, yeah, okay, we can. It is getting dark actually. The only thing we don't need on right now is the 2 landing lights. We're going to wait until we get to the runway for those. Temperatures are looking kind of okay. 21, 22 is ideal cabin temperature. Wow, look at the lights on there now. Oh, this is crappy weather. Alright. Are we ready? I don't know if I am, but I hope you guys are. I don't even know which way to turn, by the way, so I think we better find that out. I don't, yeah, okay. So we're taking off runway 12. Now then, let's see if I can get in enough to find out. Obviously it's nose right. Oh yeah, I know where it is. Yeah. Runway 12 is this one. Yeah, of course it is. I checked it on Navigraph earlier. Okay, so we're going to do a nose right. Hopefully there's no incline, because if there's an incline, the plane may not want to do the turn while it's reversing. In which case we just go straight back, and then we'll make the turn as we go forward. And then we'll just follow this taxiway all the way down to the end. And yeah, couldn't be simpler. What could possibly go wrong? Right? Nothing. Okay. Check the plane is clear left and right. Let's have a look around. We've got some pretty good clearance. There's a plane behind us, but we should be okay. The other thing we need to do is, if we do manage to power back the plane, I want to use my brakes axis to slow the plane down very, very slowly and gently, because if I'm abrupt with the brakes or abrupt with the steering, It could, in certain circumstances, you know, the front of the plane could pop up and we'll get a tail strike. And we really don't want to do that. I mean, look how long the plane is. Imagine just hitting the brakes and those rear wheels just slam on the brakes. There's more power, there's more wheels there, more braking power than in that front wheel. So it could tip the plane up. So we want to be gentle. That's it. Alright, let's see if this works. First time. So, parking brake. I'm going to just hold down the actual brakes right now, and I'm going to release the parking brake to the fully off position. And then, oh shoot, for some reason the brake wasn't working. Oh, okay, might be just a glitch with right, so got the thing set, and now I'm going to press F2 and then release the brakes. Oh wow, it's not working. Why? Nope, definitely not working. Alright, let me just take another stab at this. Okay, that's flipped the levers down. I don't think this reverse is going to work, eh? No. It's an issue. The only way to get GSX to give me a pushback now is to turn the engines off and then request it and then turn the engines back on again. Oh, unless they fixed it now. I know there was an update to GSX. It was meant to address the ability to get pushback while the engines were on.
Move to start the engines to request ground services.
Stop the engine. Say again. I need that message again.
You need to start the engines to request...
Or set wheel chocks if in hotel mode. Ah. Well, I'm not in hotel mode, but I could be. I could turn off my left-hand engine. Okay. So let's do that. And I'm going to just make doubly sure. I'm going to turn off the fuel pump. And I'm going to set the wheel chocks. I'm also going to set the handbrake. Okay, I'm not worried about the master caution, that's fine. Okay, let's see if GSX is wanting to do it now. Oh, brilliant. Okay, let's see if it works. We can clear that, that's fine. Yeah, so I'm going to have to sort out my reverse thrust thing for some reason. We're not actually in hotel mode, by the way.
Captain, we are ready for pushback.
We do have the propellers going, but... Is that going to slow the propeller down now? I guess not.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted.
I don't think we'd be allowed to take off in the real world in this weather. I think we'd be grounded.
Locking gear.
we want to go nose right, please.
Release parking brakes.
Parking brakes. Released. Sorry, that's...
Release parking brakes.
Yeah, done that. Oh, you don't tell me you haven't recognized that.
Release parking brakes.
Oh dear.
Release parking brakes.
So they haven't fixed it after all.
Release parking brakes. Release parking brakes.
I have.
Release parking brakes.
Take the gust lock off as well. Oh, also, let's as we're getting a pushback.
Release parking brakes.
If we do get a pushback, that is. Oh, I know, it's the chocks. It's the chocks. Who asked you?
Release parking brakes.
Take the nose wheel steering off and the chocks. There we go.
Commencing push.
There you go. It's 'cause
All engines clear. Start at will.
Who's Will? Oh, him. Yeah. Start at will. Alright. So as we get pushback, we'll start the second engine, which is engine 1, weirdly enough. Okay, that's fine. Put that into feather. You can move these levers even when they've got that kind of no entry sign on them. First get the oil up to pressure. Hey, first time I've seen pushback on this. Okay, that's all good. Let's get the engines into full auto on the condition levers. Excuse my sniffing. I'm a little bit bunged up today. All looking good. Right, so I think...
Set parking brakes.
Are you sure now?
Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
Yep, I can confirm. So let's do that already. Confirm good.
Ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Windows 02, Kilo Zulu, contact departure 127-750, bye-bye.
Departure 27750, Kilo Zulu, bye-bye.
What's gonna go wrong now? Oh yeah, I haven't set my altitude. I didn't do that last time, and that's what flummoxed me up. So I'm going to do that now, even though the checklist or the notes I got might tell me to do that later. I'm going to do that right now. So we're going to be flying up to 18.
Approach 06, steering aircraft from away, Pushback.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
That's a new message. Tow truck disconnected.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Just wait and get confirmation. Oh, that's... You know when I didn't get the correct... I didn't get the correct thing here and I had to do it manually because you come here and it's all this is nicely filled in, and then you just press set and set will set it up on here, but I've done it manually, so I'm just going to leave it there. Alright, we're ready. Let's taxi to the runway.
If it pleases you, yes, you can.
So as we taxi, we got the gust lock set on, Parking brake is off, conditional levers are set to auto. So the plane isn't moving on its own, so we must be on a slight incline, I would imagine. Let's go. Now we just go right to the end here, and we'll just take the right onto the long taxiway, and we're good to go. So far, so very good. So far. The only thing that isn't good is the weather. That's it. I've got so little throttle on right now.
Europa 1027, bonjour, speed 16 knots, proceedings 777, report.
I forgot to put the thing back. I can't steer. There we go. I forgot to turn off the nose wheel steering. Or put it back on again, I should say. Yeah, I couldn't turn. The wipers are just cosmetic at the moment. They're not doing a damn thing. It's a good thing I sprayed it with Rain-X. Okay, I'll be back when I'm in position. Alright guys, we're here at the runway holding point, and we're going to press heading. We're going to press nav, and we're going to press IAS twice. 1, 2, and we should now have heading select, low and pitch hold. LNAV is armed. Altitude is set. So the LNAV is armed. The moment we take off from the runway, LNAV should activate automatically. We've got our speed set here. We're in takeoff mode. We're going to be taking off at around 8 degrees, 7.5. We're going to go to this third line. There's the pitch. And once we enter engage speed hold for ATR. Oh, okay, this plane, yeah, okay. So once we get above 400 feet, we will engage, indeed, speed hold. Look at this reflection here on this switch. Seems weird that it's on that side, unless there's another one over there. That would explain a lot. Yep. Alright, I'm just going to need to bring up another set of notes now. Right, so we're done with taxiing, so we can now switch off the taxi light, and we're going to turn on the landing lights instead. Note the altitude on the runway. Okay, this is important then, because the altitude right now is, let's call it 220. So 400 feet is going to be 400 feet above that. So at 620 is when we're 400 feet above the ground. Okay? Because we're currently 220 feet above the ground. So just as we go above 620, we'll engage speed hold. Right. Parking brake off. I'm just reading through some notes here. Bear with me a sec, guys, please. Okay, actually I'm quite happy not to engage the speed hold. I'm just going to go by the taxi procedure, sorry, the takeoff procedure as I've written it down. So let's get lined up on the runway. So parking brake off. It is. It is. It still is. Just apply a little bit of throttle here.
Yes, if you want, but your stand is not free, so I think
Sounds French, that.
for to take the holding bay. I think it's better for the ground control.
Okay, that's all.
Corsair 985, clear to land 06, wind 1 line with 3 knots.
Clear to land 06, Corsair 985.
Okay. So, we're going to be pushing the throttle forward to the white markings. Also believe that we can go full throttle as well. We can go full throttle, and then once we're climbing we can bring the throttles back into the white. But it is enough to stay in the white marking, so...
4020 on the LA0.
4020, bonjour, clear to land 06, wind 220 degrees 4 knots.
Once we go to auto, these needles should go straight to where that little bug is there.
0263 kilo departure.
And at VR we're going to pitch up 7.5 to 8 degrees. So, just want to have a look here at the performance. So the VR is 106 knots.
4020 to the right, contact ground 121705, over.
Then we're going to go gear up, yaw damper on, and then switch on the autopilot about 400 feet, which is 620. We also need to go, right, so it's gear up, positive climb, gear up, yaw damper, IAS, and then autopilot. Okay, so we lift up into the air, bring the gear up, then we're going to go, which order are we going to do this? We're going to go yaw damper, autopilot, IAS, in that order. Let me just sync up with the heading here. Alright, let's do this. Handbrake off. Throttles into the white markings.
Wind 23 degrees 3 knots, report out final 06.
Pushing a little bit down on the joystick in order to keep the nose down. We're getting a bit of a wind pushing us to our right. You can also alter the trim a little bit to prevent the nose going up if you wish. I did that last time, but that truck kind of got me. It was in my way. Okay, positive right, gear up. I'll have to try and avoid those tail strikes. Yaw damper, autopilot, and IAS. Now we're showing IAS here. Above 1,000 from the runway, which would be 1,400. We're going to be switching the flaps up, going to climb speed. Power management into climb mode.
Winning X-ray kilo, clear to the runway 06, 26 with 3 knots, Maquette Whiskey 42.
Runway 06, Maquette Whiskey 40.
Above 6,000, we need to... Oh, that's a thing. We have top of descent and top of climb. Above 6,000 we need to set the QNH to standard. Let me just quickly run through here, make sure that we're going good. Seems we're not in the right mode. There's top of climb, 18,000.
Corsair 925, clear to land runway 0625.
Well, it's descending there, but it hasn't shown top of this. Oh, there it is. Missed it.
Corsair 925, contact the ground 11705 over.
Okay. Seem to have an issue here.
Wind check.
180 degrees, 6 knots.
Roger.
Where's my flight plan?
I'm not sure it's correct. Thank you.
For some reason, it's gone yellow.
Ground.
Okay. Why does this happen?
That's actually my classification of Pushback.
Does it happen when the autopilot's not quite on it?
Correction 536 Yankee, Galaxy 119.055, bye-bye.
We didn't run the before takeoff checklist. I guess we can do that now. We are indeed following this, but I don't know why it's yellow. Just gonna grab some screenshots here. Alright. So we now need to go standard. And we need to do that. I think both sides, just in case it hasn't. I think we're okay on both sides, but just in case. I didn't mean to turn those off before, but I was distracted. Alright. Okay, so at 10,000 feet we'll switch off no seatbelts, no devices. We are climbing, we don't have VNAV. We don't have VNAV set, which is normal. Speed is correct. That's your inside view, or one of them. I still haven't set up internal cameras for this one. I have done it for the smaller version, the 42, but just not for this. Wow, beautiful. Okay, 10,000 feet. We're good. So, seatbelts off. No devices off. Nice temperatures there. 21 degrees. Still confused about the flight plan being yellow, but the autopilot is doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's not. Is it though? This is not moving around. Because we're here. Altitude 6,000. And clearly we're above that. That's because we've got VNAV switched off. Maybe we should have put that on. Lots of empty spaces. But yeah, I'm really bothered about this because isn't it the case that as we fly here, this is supposed to be knocking off as we go? It's going to be stuck on there now. Great, something to distract me that I didn't need. Once we reach the cruising altitude, it should show ALT star up here. And then we can engage the VNAV. And then as the speed increases, which I hopefully it will, we'll switch the mode over to cruise. And that'll be it until we start the descent. Alright, I'll let you know when we get close to the cruising altitude. Alright, we're just approaching the altitude, cruising altitude. It appears this is a temporary flight plan, which means it looks like it thinks I've made some kind of modification, and it's waiting for me to correct that, when actually that's not the case. I'm just going to try and put something in here to match. No, it seems to be stuck on execute. I don't know whether this is a bug or I've done something without realizing. I mean, we're still flying how we're supposed to be flying. But anyway, so let's get VNAV pressed. And also
Hungary 1, runway 13 left, clear for takeoff, 070 degrees, 11 vesting, 15, not use the fuel. Hungary 1, clear for takeoff, 13 left, descending safe.
you can see the plane has increased its speed a little bit. And now we're going to switch into cruise. Which hopefully will take us up to around 240.
0234 Delta, turn to car via intersection kilo line up runway 13 left.
This is weird because it says clear temporary, but I don't know how to do that. And I really don't know how it's got here in the first place. I pressed execute, the light came on, and it won't go off again. I don't want to wipe out my my flight plan at all. So if anyone knows what I've done to make this happen and how to clear it, get it back to green again. Because if I run through the flight plan, if I go to secondary, there isn't one. If I go to new flight plan here, I can go copy. And now I think the secondary is a copy of the first one. I wonder if I should switch to the secondary now. Interesting. Because this is more accurate. Should I activate this one? Will it do anything? Oh, swap. Let's swap the temporary one back to primary. Nope. This looks okay to me. This is how it should be. Yeah, I'm kind of... We're going to activate this flight plan. Oh God. Dicing with death here, guys. I wonder why it's knocked it out. New flight plan. Copy and confirm. That's the secondary, which looks good to me. That's where it should be. Kipwe going to Kiswa, that's right. This one's not even updating. Now this is in a different color, so it's almost like... Clear this. Right. I don't think we're even flying on this flight plan anymore. Let me just do a zoom here. No can do. This is so bizarre though. Alright. What could possibly go wrong, alright? Okay, so while we're flying then, I'm going to do a descent preparation, so I'll be back once I've got something sorted out. I got it back to green. I think I had an issue here in the perf, in that all the information here wasn't filled out. The mean wind wasn't there, even though I knew I'd already entered it. It wasn't filled out. The cruise altitude wasn't set correctly either, which again is something I'm sure I'd done, but I filled it all out, filled in the information both sides, made sure that everything was now populated, and then when I went back to the flight plan it was green again, so all good. And I fed in some of that weather information for the destination, and I'm just now about to switch over to doing the nav frequencies. So, oh yeah, I missed a big step on the last landing as well, wondering why it wasn't capturing the localizer and stuff. Didn't even have it switched on. Putting the frequency on is not enough. Anyway, we'll come to that. So the ILS frequency is 111.5, so it's 111.5. And we're going to just enter that. Okay. The standby frequency, which I won't be using, but I'm going to put it in anyway, is, let's go here, and we're going to go 114.25, and we're going to enter that. Also, I'm going to do the same on ILS2, so it's 111.5. Enter, and 114.25. Okay. Try that again, because I think that got messed up. 114.25. Okay, make sure top and bottom are identical. They are. Yeah, you have to switch these buttons to ILS mode, you know, otherwise it won't capture. So we're approaching top of descent up here. It's a little way off, so let's bring in those bearing ranges on here. We may be a little bit early for that, but I mean, the ILS, it hasn't picked up the range yet, so that's normal. And what else? Oh, we need to select the ND overlay, set traffic to below, and tick nav aids and airport on. Again, this is something I'm doing really quite prematurely. Now, minimums. We want to set that to our decision altitude, which is 463, so the closest we're going to get to that, rounding up. Let's switch this to MDA. And we want to go, so 463, closest to that, rounding up. So let's get 460. And then go up one. Okay. Now it's flashing because we have to switch MDA mode on this side. So if we just do that, now it's happy. Okay, the inbound course is 066, and I think that should, well, that says bearing there. I have seen it displayed as CRS course, but that maybe that's later in the flight as we're descending, so we'll keep an eye on that. So now I quickly want to get to my flight plan and go through, and I think 2200 is the altitude I want to be setting, so let's do that. What the hell are you doing? What the hell does it think it's doing? You don't do this now. Oh my god. Alright. I'll wait till the plane descends. Did we just pass top of descent? Don't tell me that it was descending. No, top of descent is all the way over there. Okay. I thought I've seen videos of people where they just they can select this altitude selector down. So the localizer armed already. Well, they can select this down, but the plane doesn't descend. You know, like an Airbus, like a Boeing. Should this be on VNAV path? I thought that would say VNAV path. No, I can't make it change to that. This is strange. Just a little bit strange. Maybe it says, again, I'm not really skilled with all this, maybe it'll change the VNAV path when we descend. But my thought process was, if it says VNAV path, then maybe I can change the altitude without it going down. The autopilot should be flying to this. It shouldn't be flying to what I change on that button. So I'm a little bit of a loss there to explain why it's doing that. I thought I could just set the speed that I wanted, but it seems that I cannot. No idea what that city is. I can have a look. Our alternate airport, by the way, EGBB, in case you were wondering, is Birmingham. So we'll run through this. It's a bit early to run through the descent checklist, but we will. Done all that, done all that, done all that. It'll probably pop up on the screen again later. Don't know what that recall does. So we just passed over. That looks like the city of Bury, B-U-R-Y, Bury, just above north of Manchester. Manchester is somewhere over here. Yeah. So we're going to be flying just over the edge of the Yorkshire Dales. Newcastle is, trying to find it on the map there. It's not where I'm, there it is. Just needed to move the map a little out the way. Alright, so when we get to, that's nice, when we get to top of descent, I'll be back. See you in a bit. Right, we're approaching top of descent right now. I don't think it's going to descend though, because I can't change the altitude without the plane falling, which it shouldn't do, but let's see what happens. Nothing. So let's bring this all the way down. So VNAV path is correct, but what we don't want to do now is overspeed, because then it'll bring VNAV out. So I'm going to come back on the throttle. The other way, apparently, to slow the plane down is to set the condition levers to maximum for more propellers speed, and then we can and gain more friction from that. Let's bring the throttles back up a little. So at around 6,000 feet I want to be bringing the speed to around 220. As long as we don't shoot over the maximum, we're fine. Wow. Yeah, because it was in alt mode again. I keep wanting to say alt, but it's actually alt. See, we've come out of nav now. So I'm going to reduce the throttles. Once we're underneath, I can re-engage VNav. Still wants me to reduce some speed. Okay, no problem. And once again, we'll re-engage VNav if it's going to let me. There we go. Yeah, weird. I think it's going to take me months to master the descent on this thing. We're above the descent path, because this is us and this is where we need to be. I think we don't need to be going this slow. Okay. So ILS 25 miles away. These double lines here is the minimum speed, or the minimum speed, where you can retract, deploy the flaps to 15. I'd like to bring the speed to around 220, really. Just about to make the final turn when we get to here. And now it's gone to altitude again. To altitude here, which I don't know if that's correct or not. So if you'll forgive me if I skip over periphery things like seat belts and devices and landing lights and things like that. Try and engage VNav again. Okay, so this purple is coming up, which is good because that means we'll be on the correct flight path. Vertically, I mean. still above it. But if it wanted to bring us in line, it could, just simply by increasing the pitch. So once we get here near the center fix, or even before, I think by this circle, I'm going to engage the ILSs, and just at around 3,000 feet or slightly above, I'll hit approach mode and see what happens. See if we can capture the localizer and the glide slope. We're going a little bit slower than what I think is ideal, but there you go. And there is a point also we're going to need, I think maybe just at 6,000. Change that to blue. And also, let's try these condition levers. See if it drops our speed down. We've got our speed set here to thing, but I don't know whether we need to press IAS on this, or I don't know. On the 8, right? Okay, so it says that we need to come out of manage mode. So on the AP panel, click on the VS button and click on the blue M. That's for heading hold. Press heading. This will match the heading bug. Turn ISL indicator on both sides. I guess we can do that now. Set course for the runway, I've already done that. The course is, well, it says 333 here for some reason. It's actually 66. Don't know, don't understand that. Course 66, which is the that's the course we're coming into the runway, unless they mean the course that we're on right now, which is this one. But this, there you go. I was waiting. I was going to say as soon as we get the change. Yeah. Right, now it says run the approach checklist. Perhaps not. I'm going to make this turn and then I'm going to hit approach. So now the speed should come down. Should we not go to 140 now? There you go. So I'm going to bring power down. I'm also going to bring these propellers back down again because I'm not really seeing any difference there. And the plane has gone into a different mode. Thank you very much, plane. Appreciate that so much. Maybe my approach mode was incorrect. Or maybe selecting heading was incorrect. Yeah, it just completely failed to turn. How nice of the plane to do that. That's really nice. So I guess I have to take over again. Yeah, another failed flight then from this plane. Because literally none of it makes sense. I'm following the instructions from somebody who's supposed to know what they're talking about. And now I have to wonder whether that is true. I've also... Oh yeah, I better put some throttle on. I've also had conflicting information as well in the tutorials I've been watching. So, I don't know. See, the autopilot can recapture this. It says select LNAV, but it's really talking out of its yeah, the problem is this is blue, right? And it should be purple. And that's because this is in the wrong mode. But if you ask me how to get it back into that mode, then I won't literally have a clue. I presumed it was going to be nav mode, changing into LNAV mode. But it could also be these. So if we just keep it as this until we get onto the final thing. Let's see if it wants to turn back to the other side now. Oh wow. No, this autopilot is no longer interested in, well, anything really. Let's try now. Okay, so we won't engage ILS until we're on the final course. Right, so once we're on the final course, wait a minute, we have another turn. Yeah, we've got to go from CF to FF. Okay, so once we make this turn, and of course we need to set the QNH, which is 1017. Wow, this is a lot to be thinking about. Why is the button the wrong way around? Come on. It's taking a while to make this turn. Once this reaches the middle, we are going too fast, also. Okay, now can I set approach. Do we set approach mode first? No. So click that on, select approach mode. Now we've got the localizer and the glide slope. Hallelujah. But the speed isn't dropping. Okay, gear down. That'll give us a bit more speed drop. So now we do have the localizer and the glide slope after all that. I'm going to be taking it off autopilot soon and landing it myself anyway. Or at least that's the plan. We are descending below what is shown here, so that's good. I won't engage final flaps yet. I'm just not sure how to control the speed of this thing, you know, or how to have the plane do it. Right, so once we're below the speed triangle, or which we are, we can do that now. Okay, we have issues. We're drifting a little off course, so I'm going to take over. Well, we are drifting.
Approaching minimum 200. Minimum.
Continue, continue.
100. $50, $40, $30, $20, $10.
Oh, we're not quite center lined. That's because I just put a lot of throttle in. And I stopped this plane really quickly. Yeah, that's because I went max throttles. That's why we got the beep 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 beeps. I'm okay with that.
Delivery 34 Victor Papa, good morning again. We have been Quebec and Alpha 62 request bearing to Southampton. 34 Victor Papa is 47948 Southampton.
Now either it's refusing our request to taxi, or it doesn't want me to go to the gates, which I understand because I'm not a gatey plane, I'm more of a parking plane. No, I didn't mean to screenshot that, but the key that I've got next to the screenshot is ATC.
1655 to report ready, 34 Victor Papa TN.
Request taxi to parking. It's given me instructions, I acknowledge. There we go, that's what we were after. So now, before I do that, we can get the runway lights on.
3 echo departure on my 1 is left, flight level 60, and call 3133.
Well, okay. This went better than last time, but it wasn't perfect either. Still not perfect, and still way too much speed. Yikes. Yeah, so still not quite understanding the correct procedures, or doing them right, or doing them in order, or doing them at the wrong time. I don't know. The flight plan issue where we went to a temporary one, I'm going to ignore that for now in case it crops. But if it crops up again, then I'll worry about it. I'm going to consider it a one-off at the moment. And the descent, I want to know why the plane started descending when I turned the altitude knob to go down to a lower altitude. The plane descended, which might sound like, well, of course, but no, it shouldn't. The VNAV should be keeping it where it is, and it should be using the altitude based on the FMS. The problem is that, as usual, I never see the cruising altitude on the FMS, so maybe that's it. I didn't see any entries on the FMS that showed 18,000. So maybe I should create one, you know, before we take off, and then it'll at least know to stay there. Because if it, yeah, it's got to be that. It's like it just doesn't get filled out all the way. You know, all the speeds as you go through, some of them are left blank because they're the same as the previous one. You know, that's understandable. But if my cruising speed, altitude, I'll say the right words, don't worry. If I say the wrong words, I'll always correct myself. If my cruising altitude is 18,000, and then you look on the route on the FMS, and it's going 12,000, 16,000, and then that's it. There's no entry for 18,000. There's only a 16 at the other side of the flight, going down to 12, and then 9. So it's never had an instruction on the FMS to go to 18,000, and the only instruction it's had to do that is based off the knob that I twiddled to tell it to get there. So if I then switch that down, it's at least going to go down to 18,000. Sorry, 16,000, because that's the last thing it was told on the FMS, which is what the VNAV's going to obey. Make sense? It does to me in my head. So there needs to be an entry to tell it 18,000. The top of climb 1. And then I think it'll stick there. And if it doesn't, then I'm completely at a loss as to understand why. Because I believe, just going from experience in the other airliners, that while you're in VNAV, you can play with that altitude knob and the plane won't do anything because it's following the VNAV path. Or it's following the altitudes. It's following the altitudes on the FMS on here. So if you put a lower altitude in, it won't do anything until it reaches top of descent. Then it'll pay attention to what you asked it. This plane just dropped, and I didn't understand that. And the reason it stopped following the flight path was because I switched on these ILS indicators way too soon. I should have done that when I was on the final turn and I could see the runway in front of me. Then I do that. Yeah, so that bit I understand. I'm just trying to figure out which comes first. So we've got ILS. Where's the approach? Okay, so our ILS is turned on before the approach. Clearly I went to the wrong side of the taxiways. It's taking me on the runway to another side. Yeah, so it's weird. It's only when you're on the final turn, once you've made the final turn and you've got the runway directly in front of you, then you do ILS and approach. Wow, that seems like you don't get a lot of time there, depending on the approach, I would imagine. Because it means that if you put ILS on before you make that final turn, it will only make that turn if it's captured the localizer, which it looked like it hadn't done at the point we put it on. Yeah, so I put this on too early. The nav source, changing it to ILS. I put it on too early. It hadn't captured the localizer by then, so it didn't know to make that final turn. I think that's what it was. Had it captured the localizer, it would have made that final turn, and then we'd have been okay. Alright, so yeah, I think I'm working it out. Whether I remember it all for next time is another matter, but you know, yeah. And this light comes on all the time, so no worries there. Yeah, slowly but surely, baby steps really. With every flight, just baby steps. So I'm just taking these short flights, you know, less than an hour's flying time, or less than an hour flight in total. Just taking those. I'm just going to keep doing them until one of them goes right. No matter how smooth I am, the braking is quite abrupt. We'll set the condition levers here. I go into ground power and chocks. Can I now go up here? Turn off engine 1. I probably should have done something different there, but yeah. That there. Now both propellers, I don't know whether both propellers are going to stop. I don't think so. I think once the propeller is moving on this side, putting the propeller brake on won't do a damn thing. So you can't put it back into hotel mode, which is fine. So let's just go into external power and shut off the other engine. Probably should do the lever first. Alrighty then. So, I don't know whether this will work, but we open the main door, the cargo door, and the tail prop. Now I have no idea if GSX will deboard.
The boarding requested.
We don't need stairs. We don't need a jetway. Obviously there is no jetway, but we don't need stairs bringing to the plane. So this should be interesting. If this thing knows where to go to get the cargo out of here.
Passenger's bus is coming.
Ah, passenger bus. Okay. That would be correct. It'll be interesting to see how it handles this. It's certainly put it in the right spot and the passengers won't begin deboarding until the bus has arrived. So the bus is just coming around the corner now. That's cool. Yeah, GSX. I did the update today on GSX, and because I was told that they had made the necessary changes for the ATR. If those passengers start coming out that back door, yeah, do they even know how many passengers I've got? Or how much cargo? Oh, hello. Someone's escaped. No suitcases. I think we must have left them in... Nothing's coming off here. Bit worrying. Yeah, so everyone's piling onto the bus. I like taking screenshots. It has come up with the right amount of passengers, 45. I haven't imported the Simbury flight plan. I'm just wondering if that means that I actually got my numbers right when I was putting them in on the weights and balances up here. Interesting. Screenshot. Nothing coming out of baggage yet though. That's weird. Sure, there's some of these lights we can turn off. Like, we're not taxiing anymore. Don't need the beacon light. Don't need the landing lights. EasyJet. Looks like an EasyJet going out. Yeah, so it definitely looks like there's no baggage as of yet. Even if it was just one of those big silver boxes, that would be something. So I'm happier with this flight than I was with the last one, but still, things didn't go smooth, which, yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I do. I just want to. I just want to have one that works, you know. But it's coming. It's coming. Because from this I'll just start altering my notes. I've been doing that all the way through actually. Just changing my notes where I need to tweak them and stuff like that. Yeah. I did press the approach mode at around 3,000 feet, by which point we should have at least captured the localizer, but I guess not. You see, changing the oh, I keep pressing the wrong damn key. Here we go. So changing this into the blue mode, let's see if we can just take it off a second. So while it's here, this is like the GPS nav mode, the autopilot's going to follow the flight plan, okay? Where in ILS mode it goes blue, and it won't. It won't follow the flight path lines
To deboard crew.
here. So what's going to happen is the only way it's going to carry on following that last final turn is if by the time you switch to here, you've captured the localizer, you know, and it would tell you up here, lock. It would have it in green. And if it captures the localizer, well, let's say your runway is here, and you need to make a 90-degree right, and you're 3,000 feet, okay, and then you turn this, it captures the localizer, which is here, then it's going to make that turn, no problem. But if you turn this on and it hasn't captured the localizer by that point, it's just going to carry on going straight, even if you've got your course set for the runway. It's because my course was set to 66 degrees, which is exactly where the runway was, but it still didn't want to make the turn, so I had to switch these off, manually fly back onto the flight path, or towards the flight plan line, and then get VNAV back on, and then I could switch ILS back on again once we had captured the localizer, and then I can hit approach mode. So I think you don't necessarily have to wait until you've made that final turn to switch to this mode, but you have to know that when you do switch it, that your localizer will be captured. Maybe I don't know what the surefire way of knowing that is. All I have here is distances. I'm not sure whether SimBrief tells you or Navigraph tells you, this is the amount of nautical miles away from the ILS by which you'll capture it. I don't know. But anyway, I hope that makes sense to anyone out there who's interested. So I think, now it asked me to deboard crew. I said nothing. And now it's not going to ask me anymore. Oh, cool. Oh! Now we're doing it. So he's actually waited for the passengers. He waited for the passengers to bugger off in the bus. Well, how about that then? So the back door we can close. And the tail prop. This is why you have to wait for your luggage when you get in the airport, guys. Just, they didn't do it at the same time. Yeah, so he did start. I wonder if it's because this guy needed to come around the plane to position himself here, but he couldn't do that because the bus was here. That would make sense, but why not have him come round before the bus arrives? He did have a little bit of time. Maybe the GSX people need to just change the timing on that a little. One guy doing all the suitcases. Don't tell me we're going to go through 45 of them. He's going to fill up all 3, isn't he? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to end it here, guys, and then I'm going to shut the plane down. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll keep trying. I'll keep pushing. So, till the next time, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.